Welcome back, everybody, to the Loose Crews are gonna fight Undyne today. Got a bunch of crab
I just
apples.
the fart now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's alright.
Tiny just open mouth kissed me.
Can't prove it.
I can't. I said I would much rather open mouth kiss Tiny than be next to Dylan, who is farting all night.
I farted once.
I know, he only farted once, but...
And
But
then
I was
called,
sitting over there earlier and flirting.
and then I called Sharna out on her bluff. Sharna wouldn't sit next to me earlier. She's like, Tiny's gonna, fondle my belly button. And then, and that's what she did.
Now we've had each other's tongues in each other's mouths.
So we're fine now.
Oh! We finally have an answer to the question. How did it make you feel, Lucas?
I didn't feel anything.
Oh, alright.
Weird how I felt
I'm
something.
empty.
What did Dylan feel? Dylan was like, wait.
No, Dylan was like, eh.
Lesbians.
He was like,
No, he's like, yeah, could be sexier.
Could be sexier.
It could be
There
me
was-
and
there
Lucas
was-
It could
kissing.
have been me and Lucas.
There wasn't any shrimp ramen.
alright, I was telling a story last time. I'm going to finish the story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, can you do a little recap? You were hanging out with your sister, right?
Yes.
That's where you left off?
While Philip is getting drunk with all of his friends at the party all night, I'm hanging out with my sister. We're just shooting the shit and having a beer or two. But every hour or so, I go and I check on Philip again to make sure he's not dead. Every time I see him, he is more drunk than the last time I saw him. So I was
I just imagine you
"All right."
look away and then he's like, ugh.
Yeah. I look away for a second and he's blasted. So I'm hanging out with my sister still. This is 3 or 4 hours into the party. And he comes up to me and he's like, Sharna, I don't feel very good. I think it's time we go home. And I was like, okay, go say bye to your friends and then I'll bring you home. So he says bye to his friends and I help him out of the apartment complex. He could walk on his own. He was just a little wobbly. And so I bring him out.
Having the drunk swagger.
Yeah, I put him in the car. I'm driving home. The drive home is 20 minutes. All the way home.
Uh-oh.
Sharna, I love you. Sharna, I want to get married. Sharna, you're so beautiful and perfect and la la la.
Isn't that just nice though?
Here's the thing. I said to him, that's very sweet, but I wish you would tell me these things when you're sober. Because when he's sober, I didn't get any, I want to get married. I didn't get any of that shit. I go, Sharna, I love you, you're cute. Which is still good. But he was going on and on and on. And if he were sober, I would have been like, oh,
It's harder
that's
if it's slower.
cute.
Right?
But he was completely shit-faced and he wouldn't remember anything.
Fuck, I'm already out of here.
So we're almost back into town. And he's like, Sharna, I'm hungry. I would like McDonald's. And I go,
Like a
okay,
child.
we'll go to McDonald's.
I want McDonald's. You pull in, get a black coffee, and drive away.
Why is this taking forever?
Where's your reflect spell? Jesus.
I'm not a feeling. I'm ready.
Wind!
I take his credit card and I let him order whatever he wants. I get
You just gave up.
I get
you're
a
full
little
health.
snacky for myself.
Ugh.
This was before we were vegetarian,
Ugh.
so we could eat at McDonald's. So I get some stuff, and he gets enough food to feed everyone in this room.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in this room.
He ordered $25 worth of McDonald's.
And you know what? I'm in
I've
this
done
room
that.
too. I think Dolan and
Sober.
I could smash a
All
lot
right.
of food.
Yeah, me and Tiny have really big appetites, dude.
I didn't give a shit because it wasn't my money. I was like, whatever, I got my chicken McNugget, I'm happy. And so we go home. We're sitting downstairs watching the television, and I'm like, what do you want to put on the television? And he's busy eating. He's like, so I'm like, whatever. I'm going to put on what I want to watch, and what I want to watch is Pee-wee's Playhouse. So I put on Pee-wee's Playhouse. Philip doesn't like it. He's very disturbed by Pee-wee's Playhouse. 10 minutes in,
Playhouse is disturbing.
he's like, Sharna, it's
This
time.
scares me.
He's like, Sharna, it's time for me to throw up. Because he was
Just
really
announces
drunk.
it.
And I was like, okay, so go to the bathroom and go puke in the toilet. And so he goes to the bathroom. 5 minutes later, he comes back and he's like, I think I'm okay. I didn't throw up. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, no. And he goes back and he barfs in the toilet. And I'm like, whatever. So it's midnight. And he's like, Sharna, I'm ready to go to bed. And I'm like, okay. So I tuck him into bed. I changed his outfit like a baby and I tuck him into bed. I know he's going to keep throwing up. He's blackout drunk.
Yeah.
He is completely incoherent. So, I tuck him into
Fuck.
bed. I go into the kitchen, and I'm looking for something that he can puke into at 3 in the morning when he can't walk to the bathroom. So I find one of those 10-gallon or whatever lobster pots, one of those big boiling pots. And I'm standing next to him by the bed, and I'm holding the pot, and I'm saying to him, Philip, this is your pot. You're gonna throw up more later, so when you do, you're gonna throw up into this pot. And I'm putting it right here, and I put it on the bedside table. And he goes, okay. So we go to sleep. It's 3 a.m. I am woken up by the worst vomiting sound I've ever heard in my life, and I know it's not in the pot.
Oh.
I get up, I turn on the light. Philip sleeps in just his undies. His undies are all rucked up, his cock and balls are flopped all over the place. He is soaked in vomit. From like, it's all around his mouth, it's down his chest, it's all over his dick, it's down to his knees,
Ew.
it's everywhere. It's chunky vodka in McDonald's.
Aw.
And I go up to him,
Awful.
I take the pot, and I scream like 3 inches from his face, "Here's your pot!" And I throw the pot on the floor, and I go downstairs, because I knew I was going to hit him. So I give myself like a minute to take a deep breath, and I go back upstairs. And I say, "Philip, we're taking a shower." So I bring him to the shower, I get all his clothes off, I leave him there for a second, and I go and I wad up all the bedding, all his dirty undies, and I throw it down the stairs because I don't care about it right now. And as I am washing Philip like he's an inept little baby, he's telling me all about his StarCraft strategies.
Oh my god.
Like, when I shoot my laser and I set up my tanks and I blah blah blah.
Oh my god,
And
fuck this
He's going
attack.
on and on. He will not shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Man,
That attack fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It goes on forever.
Eventually, I get him back into the bed. I hear him throw up again, but I know it's in the pot. And I wake up at like noon or something, because I've had no sleep. I've been taking care of him all night. And I go into the kitchen, and the bedding is in the laundry, and he's brought me Dunkin' Donuts and some flowers. And I say to him, "Do you know what you did to me last night?" And he says, "No, but I know it was bad." That's it.
I do like the StarCraft strategies part.
Yeah, oh my
as you're
god.
breathing them.
That's fairy
It was
tale.
going on and on.
You're like, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Oh my god, I wanted to. A long ways down the line, when we had our apartment together, I got really shit-faced one night. I drank so much moonshine. And I was blackout
I
drunk.
hope you didn't go blind.
No, I was good. I got hairy palms though. So I remember, this is what I remember. I'm drinking. I'm so happy. We're like watching
Nice.
Rugrats or something. We're hanging out in the living room. Eventually it's pee-pee time. I go and I sit on the toilet, and I know I'm gonna throw up. But I'm sitting on the toilet. I can't puke between my legs. My tummy is in the way because I'm fat. The toilet
That's what
is
the trash can is
right. No, I couldn't.
I don't know, I
reach the
think it
trash
would just
can.
be hard to just puke between your legs
I
anyway.
couldn't reach the trash
Especially like
can.
when you're on the toilet, you're like,
I
you know, it's not a
could.
small window.
especially if you have a dick, you know, just puke right on your dick.
I could reach the bathtub because the bathtub is right next to the toilet. So I was like, oh my god, I'm so smart. I'll just barf in the bathtub and then wash it down the drain. Scrub it up a little, it'll be fine.
Oh, bad plan, I'm sure.
I barf in the bathtub, and then I wake up the next morning.
Oh
And I come into the living room and I'm like, "Philip, what did I do?" And he goes, "What didn't you do?"
no! Wow.
And apparently, after I puked in the bathtub, I was trying to clean it up, and the cat was trying to eat it. He had to, like, just put me in bed. But I made it to a place that was easy to clean. I threw up in the bathtub, not in the bed. So, fuck Philip. Learn how to puke better. If you're gonna puke, be smart about it.
The best
Do
place
it
to
in a
puke
pot,
is in the shower.
or do it in the tub.
Fuck.
Do it in the trash can. Anywhere but the bed at 3 in the morning.
Does she have like lifesteal?
No.
Why are you a green heart? Or is that just a thing?
It's kind of like,
When you're green, that's when the arrows come at you.
and then when you're red, you have like free range movement.
Oh, okay.
I am so bad at this.
Man, this fight is fucking hard. but I'm sure someone can do it with literally just the right testicle.
Wish I could be that talented. Fuck!
Oh my god, did it.
I
Hardly.
don't think I have any other drunk stories.
I have a couple of barf stories.
Yes, go.
Alright, so since we're doing barf stories,
Barf Cruiser. I got a barf story too.
so, there was a time,
Barf Cruiser.
this is a couple of years ago, but I had a milkshake once before I went to my martial arts class. And
Okay.
I thought it was
I
good
live
because I
for a
had
long
like
time.
an hour before class, so I
What
thought
the
it was
fuck
good.
again?
And it had like a whole bunch of like sprinkles in it, and it was delicious. And I go to class, and I'm like, "Whew, all right, I think I can make it through
I'm
class."
fucked.
The very last activity, we had to do like basically bouncing round kicks, and we had to try to get to like 50 of them.
I'm fucked.
And
I'm
my
sick.
partner, she was trying to
Damn.
push me really hard, and she's like, "Go, push! You've got this! You can do this!" I get to my 50 kicks, I'm like, I have to go. I get to the bathroom, I like lop my gloves off, I'm like I fell to the floor, and I just barely make it to the toilet. I didn't even get to turn the lights on, so I'm just barfing in this dark room. And I'm like, "Ugh," and I'm just barfing up dairy.
Yeah.
And then I finished throwing up and everything, and I'm like, ah. And I get out of the bathroom, I put my gloves back on, I go back out to the mat, and then my instructor just goes, "Why don't you sit this one out?"
I was gonna say, did you feel fucking great after you barked?
When I first barfed, no, I felt a little shaky, but after because I felt like, I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get home? But after like a couple breaths, I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm fine. I just like why don't you sit this one out?
That's cute.
I'll tell my second barf story after you can go next.
So I don't know when this was. It was probably like it was in high school still, but I was at like my mom's boyfriend's house, her parents' house, literally like 2 hours away from where we live. It was the farthest place ever. Probably wasn't that far. It just felt like it took forever to get there. But once we were there, we were like eating dinner and whatever, and then we're like everyone's like sitting in the like living room, and we're like watching like Ratatouille, I think. And then I'm like, I don't feel well. I think I'm going to barf. And I get up, and I briskly walk towards the bathroom, and I open the bathroom door, and then I close the bathroom door, and I turn to walk towards the toilet and just puke.
Nice.
All over the bathroom. All over the toilet. I made it on the toilet. The
Just
toilet
not
the
directly
toilet
into
seat
it.
was
You're
covered,
bad
closed.
at puking.
And I was like, I feel terrible. I want to die. And then I'm like, feel horrible, and I'm like cleaning it up a bit. And then I'm like, Mom, I just barfed all over the toilet. Not in the toilet, just all over it. And she's like, well, did you clean it up? And I was like, I tried. And she like went in there and like cleaned whatever I missed. And I'm like, can we go home? And she's
Wow.
like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like horribly ill. Can we go home? And she's like, we'll go home in a bit. 3 hours later, we go home. And I'm like, I still feel terrible. And we get home. And I'm like taking a shower, because shower usually makes me feel a little better. And I'm like in the shower, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna barf again. And I'm like,
Aww.
this place is the perfect place to barf. And I just barf, and I'm like, that felt great. And I just felt fine afterward.
I was great again.
It was pretty good.
Barfed all over a toilet and in a shower.
Alright, my second barf story. This one's kind of funny. I mean, aren't all barf
I'm already
stories.
out of items.
You need bigger
can
inventory.
you can kill yourself and then get a fresh inventory. Watch, this will be the time you win. Alright, so this was a couple of years ago, and this was like several months after like I broke up with like a douchebag boyfriend of mine.
Fuck, the down thing.
And so like I was getting back into the dating game. My friends like set me up with like this like really like ripped guy. He was like enormous and ripped, and he was also a police officer. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This could be something new. I never dated a police officer before. Blah blah blah.
Damn.
So I went over to my friend's house, and like we had like tacos, and you know everybody was having fun. I remember my best friend, or she wasn't my best friend, but my friend fell asleep on the couch. Her boyfriend and her boyfriend's roommate, like, they went outside to go have a smoke, so it was just me and this guy on the couch. So we're like, ooh, we have a moment for ourselves. So we snogged, and, like, after we snogged, like, I felt like my heart was racing, and I'm like, oh shit, like, can I not handle dating anymore? Should I just pack it in? And I'm just like, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm just not feeling all that great. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. And I'm like, my breathing starts to get heavy. I said, I have to go to the bathroom. So I get to the bathroom, which is it was just a few steps away, and I'm in the doorway, and I'm just looking at the toilet, and I'm feeling lightheaded, and I just collapsed to the floor. And then, like, I'm like, no, this is fine, this is cold tile, this will be fine. The guy heard me fall over, he sees me on the floor, he goes, what the fuck? And then, like, he kind of, like cradles me on the floor, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. And I squirmed out of his arms and I barfed into the toilet.
Oh!
And I said, what did I say? I said, I'm like, it's alright. It's gonna be fine. And, like, I threw up. We walked back out of the bathroom and I was pretty much fine. Like, and this was all in the span of, like, my other friends having a cigarette. They come inside. They were none the wiser that I just threw up. Like, 20 minutes, like, passed. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go home. Like, this is, like, kind of like the first time I had, like, a date with this guy. I'm like, well, I fucking blew it. I'm like going out to my car. I'm like, well, I'm just never gonna see this guy again. He walks me to my car, and I said, I swear that doesn't happen to me every time I kiss someone. And he said, that's okay. He's like, that's literally not gonna scare me away. He goes, I think you're great, and I want to go back out on another date. And I said, what the fuck did I just do? So, ladies, if you're trying to impress a man, just throw up right in front of him. It works every time.
I don't know if that's true.
Worked for me. I got a second date out of it.
How did
Fuck!
I?
I'm so bad at dodging this.
And you know what I said when I had to throw up? Like, after he kissed me, I said, well, I'm gay. That's it. I can't handle this anymore.
Fuck, I walked into
I have man revulsion.
You're phallophobic.
Which was weird, because I wasn't before. I'm like, well, I guess pack it in, you're gay now, this is new.
If you barf after kissing a man, you're gay?
Now you're a carpet muncher.
It's canonical.
I felt like I had another funny barfing story, but I just, lo and behold, can't remember.
I don't believe that. I think that you always remember everything.
And I'm just bluffing, and I'm actually really good at lying.
Yeah.
That would be astounding, but it's not the truth.
I like held my breath for that.
Whoa. Got half health practically.
Gonna run, gotta flee, gotta go,
Actually,
go,
Drew Miller
gadget,
was just-
go, gadget, fuck this shit, go, gadget, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Dylan, you're the marathon man.
You're the Pepsi man.
Ocean man,
Fuck.
take me by the sand, eat a bunch of ham.
But
Those aren't the words. Oh, I really feel like I had another funny barking
A
story.
barf story.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I'm out of healing, I can't take this damage.
I can't remember what it was. Oh! One time, when I was a little kid, this was like a 7-year-old Sharna story. Baby Sharna time! Mommy beats me! Anyway. I was really, really sick. I was like...
Fuck, go
I
down,
had
you...
like a 104-degree fever or something wild. I got sick a lot as a kid. I was like a very ill little child. I had ear infections all the time. I think at one point I had that weird, I don't know, some like weird disease that only kids get, and it's super rare.
If it makes
is
you
that-
feel any better, kids do tend to get ear infections. I used to get ear infections all the time as a kid.
is that the foot disease?
I did have hand, foot, and mouth.
The reverse
But
death.
I had another
Lucy
one.
Deathfoot?
No, that's a different thing.
I had another one that began with an R, but I don't remember what it was. Anyway. I was really sick, 104-degree fever. I
Could have
am
handed you the trash.
barfing into the toilet. I'm barfing my brains out. But I'm wearing my favorite pants. My pink Hello Kitty pants. I love them so much. I wore them like every day when they weren't dirty, I guess. And I was barfing so violently that I shit my pants.
Oh,
And I ruined my Hello Kitty pants.
that's sad. That's not even funny.
I was so upset. I took them off, and I wadded up all my clothes and put them in the garbage, and I was like, Mommy, I barfed everywhere, and I ruined my pants, and I'm taking a shower, and I was like crying because I was upset. When I was a kid, when I would get sick,
And she turned on Elton John and she was
Saturday!
That's so
She
sad.
cracked open the boxed wine, ripped open up a bag of Twizzlers, and cranked up the Elton
She
John.
whipped me with Twizzlers and dumped wine on my head and punched me in the eye.
This is actually just
Saturday.
sad to me. Don't find any of this funny.
I'm sorry. I got a joke about it. And she threw away my clothes and she got me a new outfit. But when I was a kid, when I would get sick, and especially when I would barf,
Fuck, it lied to me.
I would just cry because I'd be so like upset that I was barfing, and I'd be like kind of scared because I don't want to be sick. Yeah,
God.
that's it. And even now, when I'm like really, really sick and I start to barf, there's like that thing in the back of my head that like I want to cry right now.
Yeah.
I don't because I'm a grown man and I don't care.
I feel like
but-
when you throw up, your eyes kind of water anyway.
They do, yeah. Your eyes water, but you don't cry. But when I was a kid, I'd be like,
Yeah, it's you're scared, so it's
yeah.
like adrenaline inducing, and then it just makes you dry even more.
Yep.
Just that weave.
That was dope. I like nailed that one.
And it sucks too because sometimes it's like hard to breathe when you're puking.
Puking just isn't fun.
No, not at all.
I remembered.
Oh my god.
It was what I thought it was. Roseola. I had that when I was a kid. A common viral infection in young children that may cause high fever and a rash. I had that.
In middle school, I missed 3 weeks every year, minimum, from school.
Hi.
So, in the 6th grade, I had like a really bad cough and like was kind of sick, and my mom thought I was just faking it, so I didn't have to go to school. But I like went to school anyway, and then I came home, and the next day I was like, Mom, I really don't feel well. I don't want to go to school. And she's like, No, you're just faking it. You just want to stay home. And I was like, No, I'm not. I just feel horrible. She's like, You don't feel good tomorrow, you can stay home. So I go to school that day, and I'm like, Mom, I feel horrible. I feel so bad. I need to come home. And she like came and picked me up from school. She was
Did
so
you put on Elton John and beat you when you got home?
no. And then like the next day she made a doctor's appointment for me, and she brought me to the doctor's. Turns out I had pneumonia.
Oh,
my
shit.
god!
So I missed like 3.5 weeks of school in the 6th grade because of pneumonia.
That's awful.
The 7th grade, I got the flu. Like the worst flu I have ever had. I was horribly sick. I literally couldn't eat anything for like 3.5 weeks or something.
That's awful.
It was like the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. Until the 8th grade. The 8th grade, I got the good old mono. And now, mono, it's not really a disease that makes you puke or like anything. You just are sore and you're exhausted. Forever. I literally slept pretty much for a month.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. I like went to school and like was falling asleep in class, and the teacher sent me to the nurse's office. They're like, "There's something wrong with you. You can't be sleeping in class, whatever." And then I get brought to the doctors, and they're like, "No, we're not really sure what's wrong with you. We have to send you to a place to get your blood drawn." Oh, and Lucas hates needles, so that went fucking wonderful.
I'm with you on that. Needles are fucking awful.
Perfect hit.
I'm invincible.
So I'm like about to get my blood drawn, and I'm like probably having a panic attack, but not knowing it. I'm like, everything feels like it was just like closing in on me, and I was like, this is horrible. I don't want to have my blood drawn. And she, the lady, like, sticks the needle in me, and she's got this weird syringe that has, like, these things you plug into them.
Mm-hmm.
And she, like, plugs them in, and it goes... And it just, like, fills this tube with blood. And then she does, like, 6 more of those.
Fuck.
And I just have this, like, fucking needle in my arm for, like,
just
what
wanna
felt like
pass
forever. And then they're like, turns out you have mono. And this was, like, a week after already having it.
That sucks.
I probably had it for a little bit prior to that, too. And so then I just stay home for about another 3 or 4 weeks. And then I finally go back to school, and I am excused from gym class. I don't have to do gym for the entire 8th grade. Rest of the 8th grade.
Perfect hit.
Nice.
And I'm allowed to just leave class and go take a nap in the nurse's office for pretty much the rest of the year.
Aww. Did you use that to your advantage a lot?
Not really. Because my 8th grade, I didn't learn shit in my 8th grade. Probably because I wasn't there for a long
I was gonna say
time.
you missed a lot of it.
But when I was there, all I did was read books. I read 46 of them that year.
I'm starting to learn how to dodge that.
I have a good Shauna cries story. I have a lot of stories about me crying because I cry all the time. When I got my wisdom teeth removed, let's go back a little. Before I get my wisdom teeth removed, I say to the dentist, I want to keep my teeth. I would like to hold on to them when they are done. I want them, I grew them, they're mine. He says, you're too old for the tooth fairy.
What a dick.
I didn't cry, but I was really sad. But that's just funny. Anyway, so right before, I'm sitting in the chair, they've got me all hooked up and strapped down and blah blah blah. And they put the laughing gas on my little nose, and it's filling me with the gas or whatever.
The laughing gassy.
And the lady is like, how do you feel? And I was like, I don't think I like it. I'm a little scared, and it's making me feel like
Anxious
high,
as shit.
but not good high, like bad high, like I've had too many hits. So she was like, oh, okay, we'll take it off. So she takes it off. I'm laying there. I fall asleep immediately. I wake up. They're all done. I'm unstrapped. I'm unhooked. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a free man again. The dentist says,
Fuck.
how do you feel? I look at him, and I think for a second, and I said, I feel sad. And I burst into tears. I just start bawling. And he was like, oh. He didn't care.
He didn't know how to
I'm
emotional
sure he's
person.
seen it a million times before. He doesn't give a shit.
Fuck.
And I had nothing. I knew, like, in my head, I knew I had
Fuck!
nothing to be
You
sad
ran into
about.
that one.
I was like, why am I crying? What am I crying
One more try
about?
this episode.
Everything's fine, but I just bawled my eyes out. And then my dad and my stepmom came into the room. And at first I was like, oh, my dad, I'm happy to see my dad. And Lucy, my stepmom, and they were talking, blah, blah, blah. And my dad, like, teased me about something. And I was like,
That makes me sad.
I just started to cry again. And my dad was like, ha 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 ha. He laughed at me. It was funny. And so eventually I'm done crying. And they asked me, they're like, do you think you're ready to get up? And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And I stand right up, and they're like, whoa! They're like, take it easy.
You're gonna cry again.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry again. And so I stand right up, and they're like, ugh, and they sit me down in the wheelchair. And I sit in the wheelchair, nice and neat. They put a blanket on me. Oh, I forgot about that part. They gave me a nice warm blanket. I was so happy. They wheeled me out into the waiting room. In the waiting room, there's like some teenager, I don't know, he was probably like 16, maybe 17. And he is like just watching me like I'm a zoo animal. And I like gave him kind of a dirty look. But I wish I'd like screamed at him. Because I was under the influence of very heavy drugs at the time. I could have said whatever the fuck I wanted. And they would have been like, oh, she's just all drugged up, don't mind her. I could have been like, your mother sucks cocks in hell, stop looking at me, faggot. I wish I had.
It's better to let it go.
I know.
Perfect hit.
But one of my,
That was
like,
perfect.
my
Isn't it golden?
second biggest pet
It
peeve
was
is when
golden.
people
Oh.
stare at me.
Mm.
Like strangers, like just watch me. Like, and people always do that. I tell people all the time, I don't like it when people stare at me. And then they look at me really hard like you're looking at me. But it's different because we're having a conversation. And you're supposed to look at someone when you're talking to them.
Go on.
Yeah, something like that. But like a stranger at the shopping mall or whatever. I'm like weird looking. I have like a million piercings and I'm fat, I'm short, whatever. So I get looked at quite
You
a
are
bit.
not giving yourself enough credit.
No.
I want some body positivity out of this.
I
am an awesome individual.
am an awesome individual.
There you go.
I like my boobs.
There you
I
go.
got some rockin' tits.
See? There you go.
Where was I going with this story? Oh yeah, then I went home.
People staring at you.
And then,
And then.
so I go home. I'm sitting in bed. Lucas is coming to visit me. And I'm sitting in bed. And Lucas's cat had like recently passed away. One of his cats got like, and so Lucas comes in and he sits with me and he's like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, "I'm sad about the cat," and I cried all over
Aww.
again. And I made him cry because I was like bawling my eyes out. I made him feel sad. But then I slept for 3 days and ate a bunch of Vicodin and then I was fine.
And you had those like yogurt pouches or whatever, the fruit
Oh my
juices.
god, my stepmom bought me like a bunch of baby food. It's like those little squeeze juices that are meant for babies, but
Yeah.
she got me an ass ton of them so I could like actually eat something because I was scared to eat and you're not supposed to eat like a bag of potato chips when you get your teeth ripped out. So
Why
for
not?
like 3 days I ate baby food and drank Ensure.
Yeah, the Ensures.
Yeah.
Liquid diet.
Yeah. I took a bunch of Vicodin, that was fun.
Are the chocolate ones any good?
Yeah, I like the chocolate Ensure. It's chocolate, I love chocolate.
Chocolate Vicodin?
No.
Sure.
When Lucas got his list of teeth removed, I went to visit him when he was all done. You tell the story.
I show up at the dentist place, the dental surgeon, and he lays me down in the chair. Actually, his like assistant lady did. He didn't show up yet. And she straps me down.
You do get
Perfect
strapped
hit.
down, it's interesting.
Yeah, they strap your like arms down.
That sounds terrifying.
It's because you're asleep.
Fuck!
We'll tell this story next time on Foreskin. Because when you're asleep, you wiggle around, and they don't want you waving around because you have an IV hooked into you the whole time to like monitor your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Make
Dad!
Next time on Foreskin, we might not be fighting Undyne because we might just do a little skip or something because we've been doing this for 2 episodes.
Well, we'll be fighting Undyne. We'll just win next time.
Yeah, we'll do like a speed run or something. Dylan will speed up the footage. He's a good editor. He knows what he's doing.
I won't speed it up, I'll just cut it.
We'll just cut
or
to the part
we
where
could
he
even
wins.
we could even do it like when we like win and then sync the audio in the middle of the shit, whatever you want to do.
Right when I'm about to win, start the recording.
Yeah.
Or you could just record the whole time.
You
Delete
just
the
have
footage
like
when we don't win.
one hit
Yeah, that's
left
too
and
much
then
effort. I'd rather start on the turn where I'm
yeah,
about to
Undyne's
record.
really hard.
Alright, well, I'll see you guys all then. I love you. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed all the stories about puking and throwing up and puking and needles and vomit. And
Don't forget
vomit.
crying.
And
There's
crying.
also a lot
And
of
smash that
teeth.
like bell to find out more stories about how
Our personal
Shauna's
lives.
crying and she always cries.